Senate prepares for a key final vote in the president's impeachment trial. Breaking overnight, the State Department now issuing a red alert telling Americans do not travel to China, as cases of the potentially deadly coronavirus now near 10,000. And the new case confirmed in Chicago, the first human-to-human transmission here in the U.S.
Impeachment endgame. Republicans now one step closer to ending President Trump's trial after a key senator announces overnight he won't vote to hear witnesses. Other Republicans still holding out. The crucial vote just hours from now. We're live on Capitol Hill.
ABC News exclusive. With just 3 days until Iowa, the race too close to call. Former Vice President Joe Biden joins us live.
Suspending flights. The helicopter company involved in the crash that killed 9 people, including Kobe Bryant, now putting flights on hold. All this as the Lakers return to the court for the first time tonight, and LeBron's new tribute to his friend.
ABC News exclusive. The former girlfriend of notorious killer Ted Bundy and her daughter breaking their silence.
Did you think he was capable of murder?
The red flags, only on GMA this morning.
Bye-bye Brady? Tom Brady's mysterious Instagram post sending the internet into overdrive.
And we can't wait. Super Bowl superstars Jennifer Lopez and Shakira sitting down with Michael before the big show.
Here's what I'll say. We accomplished what we set out to do.
What they're revealing about their halftime extravaganza right here on GMA.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
Get it, Amy. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know it's Friday.
The shoulder shake. Good morning. Happy Friday. Super Bowl just 2 days away. We're starting to get an idea of what the halftime may look like.
That's right. We just showed you Michael Strahan sitting down with J-Lo and Shakira talking about their halftime show. Can't wait to see what secrets he found out.
That's right.
That is coming up, and we have a lot of news to get to as well, starting with the latest on the coronavirus outbreak. It's now officially declared a global health emergency. The State Department is telling Americans do not travel to China.
This as the number of cases worldwide closes in on 10,000, and the death toll climbs to 213. We are now seeing the first person-to-person transmission here in the U.S., bringing the total number of cases here in the U.S. to 6. Alex Perez starts us off in Chicago, where that transmission happened. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Robin. That red alert do not travel advisory comes as most airlines have already limited their flights to China because of the outbreak. Now, here in the Chicago area, we have 2 confirmed cases. A husband who authorities say contracted the illness from his wife.
This morning, a red alert as the State Department tells Americans not to travel to China due to the public health threat caused by coronavirus. The World Health Organization declaring a public health emergency.
The only way we will defeat this outbreak is for all countries to work together in a spirit of solidarity and cooperation.
Officials hailing China's efforts to contain the outbreak, but fear the potential havoc it could cause in other countries. On Thursday, the CDC confirmed the first case of human-to-human transmission of coronavirus in the U.S. in Chicago. The patient, a man in his 60s who contracted it from his wife after she returned from a trip to China and was diagnosed earlier this month.
He recently began reporting symptoms and was admitted to the hospital and placed in an isolation room where he is in stable condition.
All 6 American cases are currently in isolation and reported to be in stable to good condition. In China, the once bustling streets of Wuhan now a ghost town as residents remain indoors, wearing face masks and forced to pass through temperature-checking stations when they venture out for supplies. Our Ian Pannell is on the ground this morning.
Hundreds of people are now lined all the way around the block because this store here has just got a supply of face masks. You can see them here, but they're being tightly rationed. If you have a look up here on the wall, it's basically telling people we tried our best, we don't have any more masks, and that's the situation across Hong Kong.
Across the globe, extreme measures are being taken to prevent the virus from spreading. Russia announcing it's closing its border with China. And nearly 200 Americans are still quarantined at this California military base after being evacuated from Wuhan. New York native Jared Evans was playing professional football there when the outbreak began.
It was completely chaos. I didn't know, or any other American citizens at the time didn't know that the U.S. was coming to get us. So we were doing our job to stay safe and survive.
And now back in the U.S., quarantined citizens are still taking every precaution.
We're all still wearing face masks. I'm personally still wearing medical gloves when I leave my room.
And as for that husband and wife, authorities here say they had a very limited contact with other people, and the risk of the virus spreading here remains low. Robin?
Wish that couple well. Okay. Thank you, Alex. Dr. Jennifer Ashton joins us now. So, red alert.
Yep.
What do we know?
Well, at this time, Robin, here's what we know about this virus, because again, it's an evolving situation. We know it can spread human to human. We know as of last night in an article that appeared in the New England Journal of Medicine that it can be spread when someone has no symptoms. They have tested a patient positive with no symptoms. We know that in general, we've all had a form of a coronavirus. It's responsible for 30% of the common colds. And right now, because they're testing this virus everywhere, it does not look like it's mutated yet.
As importantly, what don't we know about this virus?
And that's really the smart questions, Robin, at this point, because there is as much that we don't know at this time, and these are important facts. Number one, we still don't know how it's transmitted. We have some theories, but it hasn't been confirmed. We don't know the exact incubation period. Another New England Journal report said around 5 days on average could be incubation, but we don't know. We don't know how contagious or how severe this virus is. Right now, the fatality rate is hovering between 2 to 3%, but we don't know that for sure, and we don't yet know the source. So right now, the response on the part of China and our government here is aggressive, despite what we are seeing here in this country, which are at this point low numbers. The response is very aggressive.
Hopefully it will stay low numbers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much,
bet.
Jen.
Okay, thanks, guys. We're going to go to Washington now. And that breaking news in the impeachment trial of President Trump. Overnight, key Republican Senator Lamar Alexander came out against calling witnesses and convicting President Trump, even though he believes President Trump's behavior was wrong. That sets up what could be a quick endgame for the trial. Our senior congressional correspondent, Mary Bruce, is tracking all the latest on Capitol Hill. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, George. Well, it was a night of high drama here. The Capitol on pins and needles for hours late into the night, waiting to see where these key Republicans were going to land. But this morning, Republicans seem all but certain to have the votes to block additional witnesses, and President Trump is now heading for a speedy acquittal.
Thank you very much.
Senator Lamar Alexander leaving the Capitol late last night after delivering a blow to Democrats. A key swing vote, the Tennessee senator announcing he will oppose calling additional witnesses in the impeachment trial, saying in a statement there is no need for more evidence to prove something that has already been proven. And while he calls the president's actions inappropriate, Alexander says it does not meet the Constitution's high bar for an impeachable offense. His support potentially sealing the case for Republicans. Alexander, one of 4 Republicans who for days have kept Capitol Hill guessing. Another, Senator Susan Collins of Maine, announcing overnight she will break with her party and support new witnesses, saying in a statement it would give each side the opportunity to more fully and fairly make their case. 2 other moderates have yet to announce where they stand. Senator Mitt Romney has made clear he wants to hear new testimony, while Lisa Murkowski of Alaska told reporters last night she needed to sleep on her decision. All eyes on her every move and every question, like this one that struck to the heart of the witness debate over Trump's former national security advisor John Bolton, who reportedly writes in his upcoming book that Trump directly linked military aid to Ukraine to investigations into his rivals.
Why should this body not call Ambassador Bolton?
The Trump team's answer pointing to the process in the House.
The House could have pursued Ambassador Bolton. They chose not to subpoena him.
But another Murkowski question suggested there's no need to hear from Bolton, asking if it's true his allegations don't rise to the level of impeachment. But Democrats pushing back.
This president, next president, can abuse their power all they want as long as they think their reelection is in the national interest. I think our founders would be aghast that anyone would make that argument on the floor of the Senate.
The president overnight in Iowa reveling a likely vote to acquit.
This is a happy period for us. It's a happy period because we call this impeachment light.
And Trump promising Democrats another loss.
We will make sure that they face another crushing defeat, right, in 2020.
Now, Republicans are looking to move quickly here. That vote on witnesses is expected to fail later this afternoon, and then Republicans want to plow ahead to a full vote on the articles of impeachment. George, the president could be acquitted as soon as tonight.
Starting to move fast. Okay, Mary, thanks very much. Now to our exclusive interview with former Vice President Joe Biden, locked in a tight race with Senator Bernie Sanders and others ahead of Monday's Iowa caucuses. Mr. Vice President, thank you for joining us this morning. You just heard the president there. Impeachment
Glad to be here, George.
He said impeachment light, they're going to crush you in November.
Well, I'm glad he's acknowledged it's going to be me. He's so worried about me, he got himself in this mix to begin with. Look, I find this defense absolutely astounding. Yeah, he did it, but it doesn't matter. I mean, George Washington is rolling over in his grave with his farewell address saying, you know, the greatest threat to republics is being interfered with by foreign countries.
But
anyway,
Mr. Vice President, you know,
Dershowitz didn't do the same constitutional law I did.
Well, let's talk about the Constitution a little bit, because your former colleague Lamar Alexander criticized last night when he made his announcement a wholly partisan impeachment, and that echoed your position during the Clinton impeachment. I want to show our viewers.
It would have been wrong for Richard Nixon to have been removed from office based upon a purely partisan vote. No president should be removed from office merely because one party enjoys a commanding lead in either house of Congress.
If a partisan impeachment was wrong in 1974, wrong in 1998, why isn't it wrong now?
Because it's not a partisan impeachment. He violated the Constitution. Period.
Only Democrats voted for it in the House and one independent.
Well, that doesn't mean that the facts, the underlying facts, George, whether the Constitution's been violated. That's the issue. That's the issue. Was the Constitution violated?
Even if it's a party line vote?
Period. Even if it's party line vote, it just goes, it reflects on those who know, in fact, in their heart and their head, that, in fact, it's a violation of the Constitution to do what he did, and, in fact, vote no. That's party line vote, but that doesn't make it right. And a party line vote that is based upon something that doesn't relate to a constitutional violation is a different thing.
Let's talk about Iowa looking ahead to Monday. You drew a pretty sharp contrast with Bernie Sanders yesterday, saying, I'm a Democrat, and he says he's not. But here's the pledge Bernie signed when he announced his candidacy. It says, we're showing our viewers right here, he signed it. It says, I'm a member of the Democratic Party. I will run as a Democrat. So why are you questioning whether he's a Democrat?
The context of the question was different. They were asking me about a bunch of things about what Bernie was saying, and so the context was different. Look, Bernie is a Democrat. Bernie he calls himself a democratic socialist. We have a different view on a whole lot of things. He's a decent guy. I don't think he should be running. That wasn't the question. The question is whether or not who's best prepared on day one to try to reunite this party and the country, as well as stand on the world stage and reassert our role in the world. That was the issue. That was the context of what we're talking about.
You've been saying the party has to unify to defeat Trump. So does that mean that if Bernie Sanders does win the nomination, you'll endorse him and campaign for him?
Yes, I'm going to, whomever wins the nomination, I'm going to endorse.
Let's talk about some of the differences you have with him. One of the biggest ones, he's been talking a lot about your record on Social Security. He says he's got the most consistent record of supporting Social Security. You're for expanding benefits now, but you have been open to reforms like raising the retirement age in the past. Was that a mistake?
No, it wasn't a mistake. Look, put this in context. PolitiFact, as well as Paul Krugman, pointed out that they misrepresented my record on Social Security. I have a 100% rating with the older Americans. And here's the deal. I have proposed all along. Go look at the debate I had with Paul when we were debating vice presidency with Paul Ryan. And that's what was taken out of context. And look what I said the whole time. I am not for changing the retirement age. I'm not for that. The question was, in the context of an overall discussion, would that be a part of a discussion? I said yes, but then I went on to point out to Paul that I totally disagreed with their attempt to cut Social Security and/or Medicare. And I've moved to increase the payments that are available to older Americans under Social Security by changing the tax structure.
Pete Buttigieg also drawing some contrast as we head into this final weekend right now. He says you can't go back to the old.
If I were he, I would too.
Well, he's basically saying, you know, you're part of the past, he's part of the future, and that's where Democrats have to go. Your response?
Well, let me tell you, the reason I'm running is because of my experience, George. With experience comes a little bit of judgment and wisdom. And I have a record of pulling things together. I have a more robust record than anybody. We're going to have to deal with North Korea. We're going to have to deal with what's going on around the world. We're going to have to reassert our alliances. The next president, day one, is going to have to stand on that world stage, George, and not have any time for on-the-job training. I'm running because of the fact I have this experience, not in spite of the fact I have this experience.
Going to win on Monday?
I think it's going to be really close, George. It's neck and neck. Bernie's up, I'm up. There's basically a statistical tie. And you know, George, this situation better than anybody. If there's a big snowstorm in certain parts of the country, in certain part of the states, it could have an effect. So the caucus is you have to be able to come to a gymnasium, stay there for 2-3 hours, and it takes a lot of commitment. And we'll see who shows up. But I feel good, George. I'm a tactile politician. Everywhere I go, the response has been great. I'm feeling good about it, and I'm feeling good about my chances in other states as well.
We will all be watching Monday night. Mr. Vice President, thanks for your time this morning.
Yeah, I will be too. Thanks an awful lot.
Take
George.
care. Amy?
George, we're going to turn now to the latest on that tragic helicopter crash that killed 9 people, including Kobe Bryant and his daughter. New details this morning as the Lakers prepare to return to the court tonight. Adrian Baker has more now from the Staples Center in L.A. Good morning, Adrian.
Good morning to you too, Amy. Yes, and as the NTSB investigates the cause of the crash that killed Kobe, his daughter, and 7 others, we're learning more about the helicopter company, Island Express, which says that it immediately suspended all flights following this tragedy and says that, quote, they will not fly again until it is appropriate for staff and customers. They're also cooperating with the NTSB investigation. The New York Times reporting that Island Express was not federally certified to fly in poor visibility, even though the pilot was. Meanwhile, LA's Mayor Eric Garcetti says the city is preparing a memorial for all 9 of the victims. The LA Lakers issuing a statement saying they are devastated by the sudden loss as they prepare to hit the hardwood for the first time since the tragedy tonight here at Staples Center. They'll be playing the Portland Trail Blazers, and there is expected to be another memorial at some time during the game. Also, of course, LeBron James has been in the news, and he was seen with a new tattoo. He was spotted with it at practice. It appears to say Mamba for life. And outside Staples Center, a huge memorial continues to grow as people come to pay tribute and hold vigil. We know it's the hardest thing for these fans to say goodbye. Guys.
It's going to be quite emotional tonight at that game. Adrian, thank you. We're going to turn now to the Super Bowl. Fans, players gearing up for the big game just 2 days away. TJ Holmes is in the middle of the action down in Miami. Good morning, TJ.
Good morning and welcome to Miami. Yes, this is a very important place for these Kansas City Chiefs. They've waited 50 years for this moment. Yes, the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the 49ers. The Chiefs, this is their first Super Bowl in 50 years. Hadn't been here since Super Bowl IV, which was back in 1970. So both teams were practicing, and certainly this is one of the most important practices in the Chiefs' entire franchise history. 49ers, of course, getting ready for them. And there, Jimmy Garoppolo, he was the Padawan learner and has a chance to become the master now. He learned under Tom Brady. Remember, he was his understudy there in New England for quite some time. So we got 2 big-time quarterbacks going head-to-head. A lot of people on that match. Patrick Mahomes, the young kid, 5th youngest to ever start in a Super Bowl, Robin, and he could be the 2nd youngest to ever win one if he pulls this off.
He could. All right, we're going to check with you in our next half hour, TJ.
Dinner jacket on a beach. How about that? Michael's exclusive is coming up also with J.Lo and Shakira. Let's go to Ginger.
Yes, Miami, by the way, severe storms tomorrow. Okay, let's get to the weekend getaways brought to you by Verizon.
We all use our cell phones very differently.
Why the French family chose Verizon.
So she's always on social media.
He's always watching sports. Someone's video chatting her friends. My parents are getting older, so knowing that I can get in touch with them at any time is really comforting.
Grandma, you're on TV. Wow, what channel?
The network more people rely on gives you more. Like plans your family can mix and match starting at just $35 and a year of Disney Plus on us. Plus up to $700 toward our best phones when you switch. That's Verizon.
Well, good Friday to you. We're starting out with clouds, and we're going to keep those clouds around, but mainly dry today. We're looking at temperatures around freezing, 45 by 1 p.m. and then 48 degrees by 4 p.m. today, and a milder weekend, too, where it's looking like it's going to be mostly dry, maybe a passing shower between 4 p.m. and about 9 p.m. on Saturday. Sunnier conditions expected on Sunday, the high 55. So the next big weather system for us, the mid part of next week, but we could be looking at record warmth with sunshine on Monday.
At
Walgreens, we understand the speed of life never slows down. That's why we're helping you get the care and attention you deserve even faster. That's our promise.